Argentine 경기장 도시형.
All right, here we are, and thanks to all you guys out there in Europe and beyond, you know, kind of staying up late tonight. We appreciate it so much. Hey, all of us have to pull late nights for StarCraft once in a while, right?
Oh, yeah.
It is one of the most fun late nights we could possibly do. So here we are on Atlantis Spaceship for Game 1 of this next Best of 9 between Prime and NSHoSeo, and representing NSHoSeo to lead things off is none other than Sculp. Quite a talented Terran player himself, and down at the bottom, a player who got one win in our last Best of 9. It is Maru.Prime, otherwise known as Tiffany.
All right.
So Tiffany Prime.
Tiffany Prime it is. Nice. Okay, well, let's see how this is going to work out for both our players now. Maru deciding to switch accounts in between the time that he had played last, which is kind of funny. And these games were played, I think, a couple of hours ago, a few hours ago, something like that. So it was incredibly close. And the results certainly showing themselves. The games are really competitive, and this has just been a fun set to cast so far.
Oh man, this has been awesome. It's been such a close set too. I mean, you do have, you know, matches now and then where you're like, all right, we know who's gonna win, we know how strong the players are, let's just kind of see how it plays out. But this, I like legitimately could not predict who's gonna win this. I mean, they keep going back and forth. NSHoSeo wins a match, Prime wins a match. These teams are going to be, I think we're seeing the start of a very good rivalry here between these two teams, actually.
And, you know, this has been very entertaining, and I've got to say, once again, my heart says NSHoSeo. I think if I have to pull for one of these two teams, that's who I'm going to go for. Their run through the lower bracket has just been unparalleled, and it's remarkable to see how far they've come.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, they're really kind of the underdog in this tournament. They're the dark horse, but they've made it all the way back to the second round of the grand finals. They did it once. They just need to do it one more time, and they can be the champions. But Prime has really put together a strong team. Obviously, they have two that stand out above the rest in Marine King and Creator, but there are other strong players as well. You know, we just did see this guy here, Maru, get a win last time. So, you know, there are other players capable of getting wins. Uh-oh. That is a red SCV sandwich, and he got squeezed right out of the middle of those two slices of bread of death.
And he's also harassing another SCV back at home as well, but that's not going to be enough. That SCV's just going to die.
Nope. Violent start to the game for SCVs.
Very much so.
Yeah.
One Rax gasless FE for Maru, and he decides to go into double gas afterwards. His opponent Sculp, though, decided to go gas first. Already has a reactor popping down on his barracks, and his factory is almost finished.
Yep. That's right. And let's see. So, Atlantis Spaceship. It's interesting that we see this map in a TVT. We've been seeing mostly, it seems like, ZVT for this map. A lot of Zerg players like to pick this map. So this, by having this be the first set, is going to take this away, actually, from Zerg players later in the match, if they potentially want that as well. I mean, Seal, I could see definitely picking this map.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's not going to be able to.
Aww.
So quit crying, Seal. Just deal with it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to club him if he cries anymore, honestly.
You went there, didn't you?
I did, as a matter of fact. All right.
Club a Seal to make a better deal.
Oh, God.
Does anyone get that?
Sculp.
Hopefully. You don't, do you?
No.
You told me you saw this movie.
Did.
I'll give you 3 guesses. I'll give you 3 guesses.
No. Yeah, you can't put me on the spot. No,
Guess
can't do it. Can't do it.
Guess one.
I'm just gonna. All I'm gonna do is guess Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom 3 times.
You are wrong. However, it is involved in this movie.
Oh. Okay. I don't know. I give up.
Wow, you're no fun. You're no fun anymore.
I'm terrible at this. You put me on the spot.
It was Weird Al Yankovic's movie UHF.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, there you go. All right, moving on. Command Center now on the way for Sculp. He's got a decent amount of forces here across the map as well. Definitely trying to put some pressure onto his opponent. He's going to be adding possibly a medevac on there. We'll have to wait and see with that. But the bunker in the front is going to keep Maru fairly safe. He's also got some units in the main just in case something crazy is coming in like a drop. And I think he does suspect that. You know, when you see Hellions and Marines outside your base, yeah, there's a pretty good chance there's going to be a medevac coming along with this. And Maru knows that. So he's just going to leave a couple units in that bunker and check that out. Maru's so smart. He's like, yeah, I know exactly what you're up to. Go ahead and try to drop me.
Well, we'll see if he's going to do just that. The first medevac is on the way, and still going to be a little while before it finishes up. You can see just how long, okay, this is kind of crazy, how long the reinforcement distance is, but Sculp decides to put down a third command center as that's happening.
I like it. He's keeping his opponent in his base. When you do that, you can expand. Pretty simple strategy here by Sculp, but quite effective in a lot of cases. Now, there is going to be a Viking out for Maru.Prime, so that's going to be extra bad for that medevac if it does decide to drop, but I think Sculp, all right, is he going to go for it? Well, little SCV scout checking out the army.
Yeah, there's our first medevac flying over now. And he almost has enough forces here that he could start, well, not anymore. I was going to say could start doing some damage to the bunker, but now there's a siege tank and a Viking. Just to say, no.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to work here. The medevac having to turn around. Yep, taking a lot of damage as well from that Viking down to about half health. Yeah, Maru.Prime shut that down hardcore, man.
Yes, he did, but, you know, Sculp's presence being here is preventing Maru.Prime from being able to do anything else right now. He's not moving off of 2 bases. He's just producing quite a few units on this, and if Sculp is able to saturate his 3rd base for any decent length of time and start to get an economic benefit from it, we'll see how it'll work out for him, but it could be pretty good.
Riddle me this, Cat's Pajamas.
Oh.
Why would you go Marine Tank and add a Raven?
Why would I go Marine Tank and add a Raven? Well, what has he scouted out of his opponent, for one? Because otherwise it's going to be...
a little bit mysterious.
Yes, it is. I mean, unless he believes Bio is coming at him. He already knows there's a factory in Starport Town.
I suspect, and I don't know for sure, but I suspect that he's getting it just for what we saw, you know, to kind of bolster his forces a little bit with the auto turret. He knows it because he expanded a little bit quicker. He has a few less army supply than Sculp does right now. So he's kind of using that Raven to kind of buoy the forces. Is that the correct term?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take it. I'll buy that for $1. Now, there is also, he knows that his opponent is producing some air units as well. He knows he has to win the air game. So point defense drone, even if not Bio, is still going to be important just to be able to win that air game, late game situations.
He was really quick to use that auto turret too. He kind of needed to in that case, but he will regen the energy for something like a point defense drone soon. Part of me just secretly hopes he wants to get Hunter's Seeker Missile, but
I'm sure that's it. I'm sure that is the reason.
You know, someday they'll buff it. Someday they'll be like, this needs to have a longer firing range and quicker acceleration. Because right now they increase the speed. You know, they buff the speed just a little bit, but they didn't increase the acceleration. That's really where it kind of fails a lot of times. Ooh, 2 factories coming up from Sculp, so it is going to be mech TVT from him. Very, very cool. Yeah. Maru going for the classic Marine tank style instead.
That's quite a few units out for Sculp already, and Maru threatening with his forces across the map for now, but Sculp's already got siege mode done. That's spotted, but Sculp's got to watch out. He picks off a couple of air forces, though, before drawing the units back into the siege tank range.
Wow.
Yes, he is.
What a bold attack from Maru.Prime. Will it be enough with that auto turret?
Oh, it looks like it's going to be just barely. So good. What a wise decision. Knew he was just barely going to come out in the advantage of that. Sculp does not have a lot left. He is producing off of this 3rd base, but it's going to be forever before he gets enough units off of those new factories.
Siege mode is finishing right now, too, for Maru.Prime, so he may actually be able to do some damage. But I don't like this. He doesn't have anything to buff for the tanks. I don't know about this. The SCV is coming off the line as well. He's trying to push with that auto turret. The Viking, we saw TSL Live actually do a very similar build on dual site once in GSL Code S, using the Raven to do actually auto turret pushing on the high ground. Now I recognize what this is. And it can be pretty tough to deal with here. It just looks so strange, though, when you see it.
Yeah, it really does. But we have even Viking counts out for the 2 players, but no threat of point defense drone. And so repairing up that last Viking, the air advantage will go to Sculp momentarily.
Oh, man. He's
but it looks like Maru wants to go for it. Oh, my God. That was a lot of dead SCVs right away. Hellions are making their way in afterwards to try and pick off a couple of Marines. But Maru still has units left over. His Banshee is still flying overhead, and the tanks are going down for Sculp.
Wow, yeah, 2 tanks and an auto turret to just 1 tank. Some Marines sieging up here, but look at 1 Marine per siege tank shot. That's a pretty efficient way to do it. More SCVs coming off the line. The supply lead getting very large for Maru.Prime, and I think he might barely be able to take game 1 right here. Oh, maybe not quite.
Yeah.
It's going to be close. It's such a tight, you know, it's such like a tight space between the army sizes of these 2 players right now. This push always looks so bizarre when you see it done.
Yeah, it does. It just looks... I hate to use the term uncoordinated, but it seems sloppy, but it's actually very well executed because Maru has had a great killer instinct so far, and he's continuing to reinforce very effectively with all of his units.
It's very micro-intensive. He uses a lot of different types of units. It keeps your opponent guessing quite a bit. It's just, I don't know, man. I mean, he's doing a lot of damage. He's getting a decent lead, but I think it's time to go home. Maybe not. There's more reinforcements coming, actually quite a few, so he's going to continue pushing this here.
This is so ridiculous. A little bit of Siege Tank Micro there, a little bit of StarCraft Master level 30 for y'all, and...
you know, Maru is expanding behind this as well, too.
Yes, he is. Going to take his third, and he continues to macro pretty efficiently. He invested in his infrastructure beforehand. Sculp forced to pull more units offline. He's already lost 36 workers. That number is continuing to go up, and the Siege Tank still survives. It's got 6 kills, and Sculp is just not finding any ability to get anything done.
Not giving up. He's like, we're going to take whatever attrition rate it takes. We're going to win this game right now, boys.
Yeah.
He's going into the main. More SCVs coming off the line. Oh, but just small units versus small unit battles. The Viking goes down now.
Yeah.
And 108 supply to 72. You know, so supply hasn't really changed much in the last 5 minutes. They've just been killing each other's armies so quickly. Oh, he finds hidden bases here.
Yeah, that's very, very bad for Sculp. More workers killed. Taking a look at the workers killed now, increasing to 50 almost.
Yep. Beware the wrath of Tiffany.
Tiffany's got Sculp's number, man.
Tiffany Prime.
Oh, wait. Marines one at a time. That's not going to work too well.
That's right. That's Optimus Prime's sister, in case you didn't know.
Oh, Tiffany.
Tiffany Prime.
What an unimposing name.
She's got the same voice as Optimus, actually. She's like, Autobots, roll out.
My name is Tiffany. It's kind of creepy, actually.
I
don't know if I like that.
All right, Hellions coming in right now. They don't have... Oh, they do have Blue Flame because it's Mech.
Yeah.
A lot of Marines getting roasted here. Sculp, though, still hanging in there.
Yeah, trying to. He's down by 40 supply. He is back by 25 workers. And it's just been remarkable how well Maru has been able to macro back at home, reinvest into his infrastructure, ensure that everything is well underway while killing bases from his opponent.
It's remarkable.
Oh, God. Oh, the puns are just going to get worse as we go on here, guys. It's best of 9, number 2.
Oh, he doesn't like those Marines, dropping them right into the siege tank fire.
No, looks like Maru is just as tired as we are, but the tanks...
No, I'm not tired.
Down.
I'm just excited. This is me all the time, in case you haven't figured that out by now. 131 supply to 100 right now. Maru with a decent lead decides it is finally time to go home. And mech play is still continuing to be done by Sculp. He's making a lot of Hellions, making some Vikings tanks as well. He does have Blue Flame on his tanks.
If you actually take the worker count out of the equation, the two players' armies are very close in size.
Absolutely, yeah. Yep, Maru just a little bit ahead because Sculp had to use some of those SCVs to defend. Looks like Maru's going to try to do some damage at this third, and yeah, Sculp's just going to abandon this, it looks like. Well, maybe.
Oh, wow, okay.
Maybe he will, maybe he won't.
Well, he's unsieged, but units are swinging in from both sides. He picks off no tanks and just a couple of Hellions there, but he does deny that base once again. More Hellions falling, so not much cover left for the tanks. Sculp's still just kind of hanging in there, barely. Oh! But the command center goes down.
You know, you really, really need to have 3 bases if you're going to survive as mech. So that was a big blow to NSHoSeo SCULP, actually, and that just a little engagement there.
And let's see. And and SCULP is going to push his way out now, but Tiffany's waiting for him.
Oops.
All right.
And see, here's the thing is that he's got the Hellions out there, but he's just never going to be able to get them in high enough numbers to really do significant damage to this force. He's got a nice siege tank count. So, you know, if Maru.Prime attacks into this at the wrong angle, things could still get a little bit dicey for him here. He's sieging up right now. Maru.Prime, he's going for it, but that's a lot of siege tanks. Is it going to be enough?
It's a lot of siege tanks, but he had very, very good spread on his units as well, and the siege tanks are falling in mass, and Maru may just have enough here. Up by 60 supply, and looks like he is going to take game number 1 for Prime in the second best of 9.
Yeah, Maru.Prime winning another game here. That's the second game he's won tonight in these 2 sets between these 2 teams.